I see you. I see.
I bring it down like.
I see you. I see.
I bring it down like.
Lofi Poli Sci, how we doing out there? Low Fidelity Studios out in New Orleans. What's going on in your world today? Right into the show to let us know. Alright, we're down to business. We got that wild cherry Diet Pepsi, and I got that bubblicious bubble gum, and we got that feeling. It's time we talk about and give a bit of a recap of what went down at COP30 with the United Nations Global Summit on Climate that took place in Brazil just a few minutes ago. And the verdict is, did the United Nations and countries of the world, did they save the world from global warming and climate change and the rising seas and the ever-growing intensity of storms endangering the planet? No, they did not, as a matter of fact. I wish there was something else to say, but no. This is what came from the meeting, and this is directly from the United Nations summary website on COP30 in Brazil. Begin quote, "What was decided? Finance at scale. Mobilize $1.3 trillion annually by 2035 for climate action. Adaptation boost. Double adaptation finance by 2025 and triple by 2035. Loss and damaged fund. Operationalization and replenishment cycles confirmed. New initiatives. Launch of the Global Implementation Accelerator and the Balaam mission to 1.5 degrees Celsius to drive ambition and implementation. Climate disinformation. Commitment to promote information integrity and counter false narratives." End quote. So what does all this mean? What does it mean? It means let's plan to fund these plans and plan to implement these plans and plan to meet the goals of some of these plans by 2035. But let's not actually do anything except for plan. And this is not funny. It's not a joke. That's what it is. That's COP30 for you. But remember, there's always COP31. And here's to next year, which is sooner than you think. Because that's right, December is here, my friends, which means, of course, the year of 2025 is almost over, and Spotify once again does its yearly wrap a month too early, which always pisses me off. But for all you listeners out there, you're doing your Spotify wraps right now and talking about it, but let's talk about how, Lofi Poli Sci, was that in your wrap today? Was it? We're going to talk about how you were in our wrap, because that's right, Spotify does content creators wraps as well. So let's dig into our numbers for 2025 for season 11 and season 12. Let's go. All right, starting off in 2025, we had an increase in audience size of 242% from last year. Big gains, people, big gains this year. Not too shabby. And remember, that's only Spotify data. This does not count all of the stats from you YouTube users out there that are listening too. So all these numbers in the wrap are actually bigger in real life. Now, listening time from last year to this year is also up by 89%. Big gains again. People are listening longer, lots longer than they were last year. And the episodes that got the most plays, or the episode rather that got the most plays, beating all other episodes by 999% more than an average episode. That's a lot. Which episode was it, huh? It Takes Us to the Stars. So Be It. From Lo-Fi Study Beats Volume 1. And if you're like, what the hell is that? Let me tell you, I'll be damned. This episode, this track, it takes number one for the most played of all lo-fi content every single year, for years now. People out there, they have this on playlist, and they are still listening to it years later. You see, I used to make lo-fi study beats for all you lo-fi listeners out there. Some jams for all you to listen to while you get your groove on studying for things. And some people still jive into it. Perhaps. It's time to drop Lo-Fi Study Beats Volume 4, huh? That's right. If it takes us to the stars and back, number one episode for this year. All right, what else about you listeners out there? It seems we have reached listeners in 57 different countries across the world. That means 25% of the countries of the world were checking out that Lo-Fi Global News. You know how we do. But our top 5 countries were, and coming in at number 5, Spain. Number 4, Australia. Number 3, Brazil. Number 2, the UK. And number 1, the US. That's right. But looking outside the countries, let's look to the fans. Let's look to you beautiful Lo-Fi listeners out there, where we were a top 10 show for 229 of you out there, which is hella good for a little old nerdy Lofi Poli Sci podcast like we are. 229 of you, a top 10 show. I like it. And we were a top 5 show for 126 of you. Damn. Top 5 for 126. I love it. And Lofi Poli Sci was number 1. For how many of you out there? I'll do a little drum roll for a non-silent 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 36 of you beautiful Lo-Fi listeners out there. We were your number 1 show. And we know who you are. You're those 36 people who don't listen to any other podcast out there. That's who you are. We know you. Now. You want to hear some real shit? Remember how I always tell you that the internet be stealing your data? Well, Spotify, they be dealing and dishing it out, because this year they telling us in our 2025 creator content wrap what our listeners have been listening to in the form of, well, we got a couple lists for you people. These are the top 5 artists that Lo-Fi listeners on Spotify are listening to. So you out there on Spotify that are listening right now, Spotify tracks that you're listening to Lofi Poli Sci. Then it cross-references what you listen to as far as music. Then it cross-references that data with each other's data of other Lo-Fi listeners in Spotify. Then it sent all of that to us to say that Spotify, Lofi Poli Sci listeners, their 5th favorite artist this year is Lana Del Rey. The 4th most listened to artist for Lo-Fi listeners via Spotify is Tyler, the Creator. The 3rd most listened to, Bad Bunny. The 2nd most listened to, Drake. And the most listened to, number 1, Taylor Swift. Wouldn't you know? Our top 5 audiobooks for Lo-Fi listeners on Spotify. Let's see what you haven't read to you. Number 5, Practice Makes Perfect. Number 4, The Ravenswood Witch. Number 3, Everything is Tuberculosis. Number 2, The House of a Mother. And number 1, The Alchemist. And I don't know what any of these books are, so if they're good, people write into me and tell me what they're about. Maybe I'll give them a check out. But back to us and the we that we be. We grew as a podcast 91% faster than all other podcasts on Spotify this year in 2025. And our listeners, you out there listen to our episodes longer than 89% of other podcast episodes that you listen to. Oh, sugar ducky, now you listening to us all the way through out there, are you? I love it. But look, for real, that's all the numbers and the data, and really doesn't dive into the jive of the we that we be in the year that was 2025, which was the most challenging year of Lo-Fi that Lo-Fi's ever faced. For Lo-Fi reasons that you'll never know, or perhaps you already do know. But this year was the first year, for instance, that we didn't podcast at all during the summer. That's never happened in over 5 years of casting. This season is the first season we've only casted once a week. In over 5 years, we've always casted more than once a week. Hell, we started off casting 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays. We did that for years. This March we made 5 years. And this episode 954. Over half a decade and almost 1,000 episodes. And so many more of you out there have become a part of our lives. And part of that we be. Whether it's telling us not to change the music, or singing the music in class, or saying you're going to be that one listener that stays after the semester is done and keeps on listening. We'll see if that happens, huh? Or if you're sending us words from Ireland saying you still haven't found those leprechauns, but you're still listening. Or if perhaps you're still trying to figure out what it means. And don't forget to eat your cereal with a fork and do your homework in the dark. Love you, Lo-Fi. And this, just a snap of what's going on in the world today.
I see.
I bring it damn light.
Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. Pickering, signing off.